tour in New Albany on si quiere comprar boletos puede pasar a mi oficina antes de la 1 hoy. Gracias.
So Defining Purpose is going to be running in the Indiana Oaks, first start since the Kentucky Oaks, correct? Talk about what, and before that she won the Grade 1 Ashland. Talk about both those races.
Well, we spaced her race pretty good for the Ashland. I thought that was a great run by her. You know, anytime you can knock down a Grade 1 with a 3-year-old filly, 2-year-old filly, any filly, then it increases their value pretty dramatically. In the Kentucky Oaks, she didn't really fire as we had hoped, but it was a tough race and certainly the best fillies in the nation. Since then, she's transferred ownership. She's now owned by Northern Farm, which is the Yoshida family, Katsumi Yoshida from Japan, and the partnership group made the decision to sell her, or actually we were inquired about selling her, and we felt like the price was right and it worked for everybody. So she's going to be running for Northern Farm in her next start. I had a horse for him years back, mare named Kusora. So I'm excited for the new ownership, and the filly's doing super. She's staying with us at this point, and status quo. But this should be a really good spot for her.
That's right. So Magdalena was one of the owners of. So you were one of the owners of Defining Purpose. Yeah. Well, that's a win-win when you can sell her for really nice money and you get to keep her in the barn.
Yeah, no, certainly. And Northern Farm, they gather a lot of Grade 1 type fillies, and she fits their program, and she's a beautiful filly. So in the long run, she'll probably end up being a broodmare in Japan. But we're proud of what the partnership's done. And I just had a small slice of her, and the other group, the rest of the group did actually better than me. But that's okay. It's all good.
So how did you land on the Indiana Oaks for her next start?
Well, I actually hovered in between Iowa Oaks, Indiana Oaks, and then after kind of settling on Indiana, and I've got another filly I'm going to take to Iowa named Stellar Lady, coming off a small win at Indiana. So it's a good problem, and I think Defining Purpose should be maybe one of the favorites there in Indiana.
Indiana Derby, you have the Texas Derby winner, Hayes Strike.
Yeah, and he's coming off a third in the Ohio Derby as well. This is kind of like Rattle and Roll last year. We came back a little quick. He's coming back in a couple of weeks, but he's a deep closer type. He's going to make a run late. I think that it's a pretty good spot for him in the sense that, straight 3-year-olds, his distance. He needs to show he's a little faster, and we're going to need some pace to set up for us. But he's a rock-solid colt and always runs hard.
You think he's the kind of horse you can run out a lot of money with him, just positioning him around?
Yeah, I think he's a horse that if you spot him right in the right races and timing, especially as a straight 3-year-old, I think it's kind of reminiscent of Rattle and Roll. Creative minister in the Schaefers for sure.
Okay, that's why I was wondering. I saw the two that he was, and he's a horse that was third in the Preakness last year, and just made over $500,000 just knocking out checks.
Yeah, he's never won a stake. He's stakes placed, so I'd like to win a stake with him. I know that the ownership's anxious to win a stake with him, and then if Dash Tech goes in there as well, we'll talk about it. And then beyond that, I've got Lovely Princess in the Indiana General Assembly distaff.
The turf race.
Yeah, she was actually entered in Delaware today, and she's going to be scratched up there and pointed towards Indiana. And I think that's a good spot. She's another one that's stakes placed at this stage, and we'd like to win a stake with her. She's got quite a nice pedigree and twirling candy filly and running really well right now.